Hi, Jasmine here with my channel Sober and Fabulous. And it's a beautiful Saturday in Western Maryland, Mountain Maryland. I want to just kind of talk today about the holidays. It can be a stressful or actually very sad time of year for a lot of people. I spent years feeling like I needed to isolate myself from my family. I didn't like the holidays as an adult. As a kid, I loved the holidays because things just felt normal. They felt right. There is something about the holiday season, that kind of giving, caring. I feel like people do tend to lean towards more positive energy. And I hope that we can spread that energy throughout all year and just encourage those, moments of generosity and loving and kindness. So as an adult, I developed a relationship with my biological mom, and I have a relationship with my stepmom, and there were points in times when I had a relationship with my father also. So when it came to whose house I would go to, I always felt stressed out about not being with the other family member or family members, if you will. And I don't know that they actually made me feel stressed. I think part of it I created. I think there was, some disappointment, like, oh, you're spending that holiday with them and not me. And I think that just is bound to happen, even when someone, when a couple gets married, like, who do you spend the holidays with? So that is added stress when it comes to, if someone chooses to spend a certain holiday with you, just be grateful that they're there. And if they choose to spend a holiday without you, know that they're with someone they love. That's all I can say to anybody on that other side of the realm, if you will. And so I would get depressed also, and just not then want to be around anyone. And I spent some Christmases alone when I was younger, and just that's what I wanted, that's what I needed. I don't think that there was anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. And there's also, there's a lot of magical feeling around Christmas, around the holidays, but there's also a lot of sadness. I have a coworker that just recently lost her father, and she was talking to me about it and how just blah it is, and that she's not the first person to tell me that when you lose someone. And the holidays happen when they were such an intricate part of it. It definitely takes its toll. And another part of my sadness around this time of year is that I had a miscarriage 3 years ago in November, and that is a really hard thing to go through. And it's frustrating because when it comes to a miscarriage, and I know that people don't intend to behave this way, but it's almost like you should be over it in no time. And I was early on in the pregnancy, and my boyfriend and I were together at the time, or my ex rather. We were excited. We had talked about having kids, didn't plan it, but it was something that we wanted. And then to have it taken away from both of us, we both really grieved the loss of that baby. And it actually made our relationship stronger. That can go either way. It can break a relationship, it can make a relationship. And we got stronger, we got closer because of it, but it's still very hard this time of year. Just remembering what I went through. I had something that was so amazing and beautiful, and then it was just gone. And I went through some horrible doctor's experiences afterwards. I actually had a doctor look at me and tell me I might still be pregnant after I knew that I had had a miscarriage. But there's just that inkling of hope, and he's in the white coat, so he leaves the room and comes back in and looks at me and he goes, "Oh no, you had a miscarriage." Just like that. No sympathy, no bedside manner, nothing. And I was in shock. I could not believe I was being spoken to this way or that way. He made me feel insignificant, that I was a waste of his time, basically. And so then we kept trying to get pregnant, and I wasn't. And it can take time for your body. I know that after you go through something like that. But I then went to another doctor. I was told I wasn't fertile. Went to one appointment with a fertility clinic, and it was the worst experience of my life. I felt like they were selling me a child. Another horrible experience. And more than that, more things happened at that doctor's visit that just were not acceptable, not appropriate. Basically, the doctor made me feel like it was my fault that we couldn't get pregnant. And again, things to not say to a woman that doesn't know if she's fertile or not. So then I see another doctor. They tell me I got pregnant, so obviously I'm still fertile. At the time it happened, I was 40. So when you get pregnant, if you're 35 and older, it's called geriatric pregnancy. Horrible term. Do not think that geriatric and pregnancy should be two words together. I don't think being 35 is old to get pregnant. I didn't think 40 was. And I've been told I can still get pregnant. I'm not with anyone right now, so it's not a major concern. But it's just, the way that doctors treat you. And I would even be looked at like, really? You're 40 and you're trying to get pregnant. Like, it's none of your business, first of all. And thanks for making me feel like a piece of crap with your personal opinion. So, becoming a parent, that's definitely on the back burner for me. It's something that I actually would like to do. And I know that I could adopt, I could foster kids. There are all sorts of ways to become a parent. And if that is in the cards for me, then it will happen. I'm not worrying about it. I'm not pressed about it. And I work on, the grieving of my miscarriage in therapy. I worked on it when I was in rehab. We had a grief counseling group that met once a week, and it actually met twice a week because part of it was yoga nidra and part of it was the talk therapy. And it's really, grief counseling can be hard, but at the same time, sometimes just being in a room of people, knowing that they've experienced grief in the form of loss, is what you need. It's what your body needs. There's a healing that takes place when we are around each other. And again, that shared trauma. I don't have to go into the details of my story, but if you and I have experienced something similar and we know it, the closeness of our human shells, if you will, that there's healing that takes place. It's absolutely incredible. And I believe in group therapy. I'm not in group therapy right now, but it is a big part of why I became sober, how I became sober, and got into a place mentally to start really understanding the traumas that happened to me and also wanting to heal from those traumas. And there's something it's a sense of relief to get that out, to say it out loud. And I saw it happen to other people as well. It's a very beautiful thing. And it's also, it's hard. It hurts. You're vulnerable. I realized that being vulnerable and being weak are two completely different things. I used to equate being vulnerable with weakness, and it's not at all. Being vulnerable is actually being very strong. And, letting that guard down, letting those walls down that we build naturally. Sometimes in childhood because of stuff we've gone through, sometimes most often as adults. And that vulnerability, even in one-on-one therapy, is so important. And it took me years to feel comfortable enough to do that. And it's okay if you're not ready. Do it in your time. But I will tell you, it's one of the best feelings you'll ever experience in your life. to just say out loud what has hurt you, what you think about it, being completely and utterly honest about it, and how you feel, and even things that I've done that weren't right, or, ways that I hurt people, being honest about it and explaining why it happened, and just kind of bringing it to the surface. When we hold things in, when I hold things in, they weigh me down. And I have felt such a lift of that negative energy that was weighing me down. When I'm angry at someone, when I harbor anger, all I'm doing is hurting me. And it's easy for me to let go of anger in certain ways. There's still some anger inside of me to someone that really, really hurt me. And it was when I was little. So that's something that I'm working on in my therapy, to forgive that person. And I know that one day I will. That is my ultimate goal. And it could be sooner than later. And there is this kind of, I'm torn in a way, because I feel like if I'm not angry at that person, then what they did is somehow unjustified, or, that it was not as big of a deal as it should be. And that's not the case. The anger is hurting me. It's weighing me down. There's pain coursing through my body at all times. I've been diagnosed with what they call fibromyalgia. There's actually no actual, test to say, yes, you have fibromyalgia. It's a disease that is kind of a catch-all. Like, I don't have lupus. I don't have arthritis. So you have you have horrible pain in your body, and we have no idea why. We're just going to call it fibromyalgia. That's essentially what has happened. And it's very frustrating, because even the neurologist that I've gone out of town to see, it's basically like, see you in a year. We're just going to prescribe this medicine for you. And that's it. So I'm going down a holistic route with it. I've cut back on my medication. I'm easing myself off of it in a proper way. I've talked to my primary about it, and she's quite aware of what I'm doing. So I don't want to be on medication. I refuse to be on medication for the rest of my life. That's going to destroy other parts of my body. And I know there are other ways. I want to, once my knee has healed and I can fully submerge it in water, which I see my surgeon at the end of the month, and I'm sure by then it'll be the case, I'm going to start swimming. And I think that's going to be overall just a great thing for my body. I've always been drawn to water. I dream about water and bodies of water a lot. I feel very calm and comfortable in water, whether it's a creek, whether it's a pond, whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's the ocean. And I think that'll be really fantastic. Just being in the water alone, I think is going to do great things for my body. I know it is, actually. And I'm still working on my 369 project book. Some of it's reading, probably a third of it, and then the rest of it, the other 2/3 are, manifestation worksheets. So a lot of really good reading in there. And then just every day I manifest positivity into my life in different ways. I ask for specific things. It also has really great quotes in it and great readings. The synchronicity of numbers, all kinds of things. Hertz, frequencies, the Sofiga, I don't know if I'm saying that right, frequencies, and just a lot of interesting things that I've always been interested in that I find relaxing. And I think it's about that when it comes to, the healing part of your journey. What gives you comfort? I'm right now baking my banana muffins that I love, and that brings me comfort. I read all the time. I love to read. And there's just so much, I spend time with my family. I'm actually going to a Christmas party tonight, and I really didn't want to go at first when my roommate asked me. I was so hesitant. And then I thought to myself, like, what the heck? Go to a Christmas party. Like, that's actually probably going to be fun. And I'm going to be with someone I know. I know some other people that'll be there. I am not worried at all about drinking or being forced to drink or feeling pressured. That doesn't bother me at all. I am truly blessed because the desire to drink was lifted from me. It's gone. I have no desire to drink. I have no desire to do drugs anymore. That was lifted recently. And I'm so very grateful for that. I actually get nauseous when I think about both. And not to the point where I'm going to get sick, but where it's so unappealing. I don't even think my body would let it into me if I tried. And I have no desire to try. So I just want to say I'm going to finish up here. And I hope I kind of made sense today. I kind of second guess myself sometimes when I get to the end of the video. So again, I like to say this at the end of every video. If you need help with any type of substance abuse, any type of addiction, there are so many wonderful rehab facilities. There's so many different tiers of rehab. And I think if you are confused on what to do, walk into an AA meeting, walk into an NA meeting. Those rooms are so non-judgmental. They are so amazing. You will find the people that will help you. And if you feel like you need to talk to someone, feel like you need a therapist, I encourage you to look online. I found my therapist on psychologytoday.com. Psychology Today is a magazine. It's been in print for a while about therapists. And I do my therapy online once a week, and I am so much better for it. So talk to someone, reach out, ask for help. Have a happy holiday. I'll try to do another video before Christmas. But if I don't, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Thanks. Have a good day.